Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome inside the latest edition of Across the Cavs. Zach Weiss with you, joined by Jean Baptiste, also goes by JB, part of the Cavs Nation France account, one of the best Cavs follows you can find. Before we get going today, and I introduce JB, a couple of Cavs birthdays to shout out. We've got three here on this December 2nd day. Alan Henderson, who's been part of the 05-06 season in Cleveland, turning 52. Happy birthday to him. A much quieter Cavs career than some of these other names. Brandon Knight, unfortunately, on the wrong end of the Kyrie cross and the DeAndre dunk. Did spend a couple years with the Cavs during the second rebuild. He turns but 33. He's been out of the league for some time. Hopefully he is doing well. And Cavs rookie Jalen Tyson turning the big 2-2. Has shown some nice flashes on the young season. His performance against the Pelicans showed the kind of player he can be. He got some minutes against Boston in the first half last night, and we will see what his future holds. But when we come back, it is Across the Cavs times Cavs Nation France. What it do? Here we go. Welcome back, folks, here with Jean Baptiste. We're talking Cavs. We're talking Cavs France. A pleasure to be back, obviously 6 hours later for you, so it's morning for me, afternoon for you, but a very exciting start, JB, to the Cavs season.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I'm really hyped to speak about the Cavs situation right now. It's been a long time we've seen each other, but like it was for the Cavs games in Paris in January. Yeah. But I'm happy to be here and to speak about this great situation we're in with the Cavs.
And they entered last night's game against Boston off 2 losses, games that we're going to get to a bit later. But, you know, JB, they're down 12 points going into the fourth quarter. They had been held under 30 in every frame. It seemed Boston kind of had the magic beans. They were able to grow a lead, keep the Cavs from climbing up. But fourth quarter comes around. Donovan scores 19. The team scores 43. It just seemed that they did not want to lose that game.
Yeah, to be fair, I had a busy weekend and wasn't able to see this match. A shame considering the epic ending, to be fair. Afterwards, given the third quarter, I might have given up and gone to sleep because at like 3 a.m. in the morning, when you're hit by such an avalanche, you sometimes just give up. Otherwise, it's kind of hard the next day at work. But I was able to watch the replay this morning in France. Yeah, because right now it's like 2 p.m. In Dijon, where I'm actually are. It was like pretty great to see the end of the game. Darius Garland has been like incredible in defense from my point of view on Tatum. He really gave Tatum troubles, and that's what Kenny said the other day. Like he doesn't want her to hide him anymore, you know. And waste time on switches. DG has to give like everything he's got and prove that despite his size, he's a complete athlete. And from my point of view, that's what he did last night. And then for the other ones, I mean, everyone was kind of good yesterday. We had some ups, we had some downs, but like Okoro, from my point of view, was really consistent on his gameplay yesterday, and so was Levert. And of course, like Mitchell, ultra clutch in the fourth quarter. But like most of the times for starters, like the fourth quarters in every game like this season have been really good from our bench and starters. I feel like.
And I know we're not Celtic fans here. You know, we watch every team. I watch every team. It's a Cavs-centric podcast. It's a Cavs account. But I wanted to get your thoughts, JB, on the Celtics' decision because they didn't have Jalen, they didn't have Derek White. And so Drew Peterson, who had only logged, I think, 4 games in his career, came in and was that 7th man for them. He logged 25 minutes. He played ahead of – normally, you know, they would go Tillman or they would go Walsh. So certainly they had to change it a little, but – I thought that was a very curious decision. Now, he didn't bring them down. He held his own. But to see a rookie Might actually be in his second year. Honestly, I don't know much about Drew Peterson. He's one of the few players in the league I really don't know much about. But what are your thoughts on how they kind of did their rotation and seeing him for most of the game? He looked fine, but he's not the guy you'd expect Boston to throw out in a game against your.
Yeah, and especially in such games. I'm not being like condescending over, I don't know, the Hornets or stuff like that, but when you throw like young players in such game with that important matters, you're playing the Cavs, they are ahead in the league in the East, and you have to put big games. You're missing Jaylen Brown. I felt like kind of weird about that. Maybe they were confident because they thought he could do something. He could bring something to this Celtics team with the people missing in this team. I mean, watching the replays, I didn't find like he was playing bad, but it did not bring anything that the Celtics, not the Cavs, the Celtics like needed to overcome this great fourth half from the Cavs and to make like the upsets, to help them win.
Yeah, he ended up 25 minutes. It turns out this is the first time in his career, it's his second season, he's 25, one of those 4-year college guys, gets some G League experience, tries to carve out a role. It's the first time in his career he's gotten regular rotation minutes in a non-blowout. He did fine. Boston has nothing to worry about. They have a number of guys still on that bench. They go Jaden Springer. They could go Jordan Walsh. They could go Xavier Tillman. They've got Keita. They got Baylor Shireman, who was an insane scorer in college. But anyway, not to focus on Boston, kind of bringing it back. And you did touch on it, JB. But Donovan Mitchell, coming off a 5 for 23 game against Atlanta the other night. He scores 19 in the fourth, had those 3 straight threes. He was getting to the basket. He was facilitating. I think it's a nice reminder for all of us why they gave up so much to bring him in and that he really is, at his best, a top 10 player in the NBA and the best shooting guard.
Sure. I mean, when he came from Utah, he was like how do you say this in English? Caricatured. I don't know how to say this, but it was like everyone was just saying he's just like a pull-up three guy. He doesn't care about defense. He doesn't care about teammates. It was like this idea around him that he cannot play with the team. He's just like the hero ball in the game, and he doesn't know how to do anything else. And I mean, the first year with the Cavs, we obviously saw that it wasn't true. He was a really good player. He was a great teammate. He had like everything to grow and to become like a superstar that he is actually. And yeah, the last year I was really impressed by how he succeeded in playing, in carrying the team when the time was when the games were going really badly and when everything just fell down. This year I feel like Kenny Atkinson really made something out of this team, and it's his success too that Mitchell has become like everything. He's a really good ball handler. He's a really good three. He take really good and hard threes. Yesterday in the last fourth, it was like amazing to see him taking these shots like and blowing everything, But he's like he does pass. He's everything. This guy is really one of the 10 best player in the game right now in the NBA West and East. Like, for me, there's no contest.
No, absolutely. And it's crazy to think that at the time the Cavs traded for him, if you go before Colin Sexton's injury, you'd almost find it unfathomable that they would trade him.
Yeah.
You think about Larry Markton, who got acquired for Larry Nance. Like, he's coming in. They want to go big lineup. He fits well. He spaces the floor. He had some clutch moments. Okay. And then you trade Ochai Agbaji, who's kind of coming in to be that next solid Cavs wing. You give up all of them. You give up several years of firsts.
Yeah.
You get 2 straight playoff appearances, including your first non-LeBron playoff series win since 97-98. We were very young back then.
Yeah.
And you get the best non-LeBron start. And we say non-LeBron, the best years you have to separate. best non-LeBron start in franchise history. And, it's a special team. And we do have to, though, JD, we have to talk about the losses. They did lose 2 games to the Hawks on Wednesday and Friday. Friday for you, I'm sure, was great. More manageable start, 8:30 local time versus the usual late night snooze. But, that game was not fun. Atlanta made sure of that. Somehow, not only did they beat us twice, they've also beaten the Celtics, and they're actually the only team to lose to the Wizards this year. They've beaten the Hawks twice. I don't understand that either. But JB, my thoughts, and I'll toss it to you. I think the Hawks' recipe for beating the Cavs, you have a fantastic point guard in Trae Young who facilitates. He had 33 assists in 2 games. You've got defense with with Dyson Daniels, DeJounte replacement, Dyson Daniels, Jalen Johnson. You have Frenchman, 6'10", 6'11", Risa with all that size. You got Capella and Okongwu. You have everybody making timely shots. Of course, it is an average team at the end of the day. But in these types of games, you got Bogdan knocking down every shot he takes. And DeAndre Hunter went absolutely bonkers. It just seems that the size they have on the wing is perfect for beating the Cavs, who still are a little small on the perimeter.
Yeah. To be honest, like that for the first game, the threes made by Trae Young in the last fourth really disgusting me. It was like seeing this, I was just like, okay, anyway, we can't win this because it's like too hot. He hasn't been like so good all game long, from my point of view. And just in the fourth, like I don't know, he exploded, and we were like, okay, we can't do anything against it. But I think overall, the games against the Hawks were hard to digest. I think you expected to take a slap in the face against the Celtics at home. I mean, when we were playing them home, especially with the people missing in the post 3, Caris out, Okoro out, Dean Wade out. Their indecent 3-point success too. It looked like our first half against like the Golden State Warriors. Everything was just going in, and we couldn't make anything to stop it. But the Hawks, I think it hurts because, and at the same time, we knew we weren't going to have like a 73-9 season, So it's good to come down to earth, to say to ourselves, oh well, we can actually lose some games by not getting like involved enough, by letting them take stupid open shots. We still need to improve and not take everything like for granted, And I felt like Atlanta was playing good, but we were kind of, I don't know if we were like tired, even if like most of the games were behind us for the back-to-back and stuff like that. It's just a shame that to lose like NBA Cup games and be second bottom in the group when you are 18-3, but that's the way it goes. Yikes! But yeah, pretty rough. But I think you need these games. You need to lose some to reset, mental reset, and go get some games. Like it's not win. You have to get the wins and you have to improve. Kenny has to see when we have like a bad matchup, and he has to accommodate the team. And overall, it's a good thing to not like be too hyped by what we can do and maybe take things for granted or
No, for sure. You're not going to win every game. No one's ever gone 82-0 before. No one's even had a perfect playoff run for what that's worth. The best in the world still will occasionally fall in this sport. But now here's the question. I agree with you on the Hawks. Some of those Trae Young shots. It's crazy. But, we look back and you lose Wednesday, you lose Friday, and you lost to Boston a few weeks earlier. Would we be panicking if the Cavs had lost to Boston for their third in a row, or do you think it's still kind of a case of where you need the losses? Because to me, they lose those 2 games, and I think because of how those went, it might have even made them. Yes, you're facing Boston. Nothing will get you up for a game more than that. But feel like it's the losing of these last couple games might have fired them up even more. And Donovan knew he could not disappear late again that it was going to be his time.
Yeah.
He made the entire fourth quarter Donovan Mitchell time.
Honestly, I don't think we will panic if we lose like four straight in a row. There's no reason. Like we know we cannot just go on winning until the end. You know, we're gonna have rough times. We're gonna have great times. We already had like a really great time in the past weeks. So I don't think there's any reason to panic when you lose maybe 2, 3 games, 4 games in a row, and when you see the potential of the team and everything we can do. You know, some nights we're gonna have like injured people. We're gonna have like sick people. So you cannot just throw everything away. When you lose some games. You know, it's part of the game. You have like 82 games in a year. There's a lot of games, so you're expected to lose some and to win some. You know, so I mean, I'm not concerned about these losses, and I think it's normal. I mean, you win some, you lose some. The most important by the end of the year is to win more than loses, you know, and to get confidence and to be like on top of your play when the playoffs come.
No, definitely. You know, and we'll see how things shake out. We still got 61 more games remaining in the season. You know, plenty of time remaining for Cleveland. As you know, we're 21 games in. There's 61 games left to be played. You know, for the Lands. And JB, got to talk about Ty Jerome, who has come back down to earth these last couple games. You know, we were reminded last night that for as good as he has been, Peyton Pritchard should probably remain as the sixth man of the year front runner. You know, he's putting up crazy games. He's had back-to-back fourth quarters of scoring almost 20. Pretty crazy considering who he shares the court with. You know,
Yeah.
But Ty Jerome has had 4 games of 20. He set his career high in scoring 3 times in the same week. You know, in his 2 games as a starter, 29 points on 10 of 19, plus 28 in 23 minutes. He had that crazy first half of 27. He had 24 and 8 against Charlotte. You know, he's been very good so many times over, obviously playing better, you know, when the team wins. His defense, yeah, he gets key steals. You know, I remember before the season, you know, people were very low on him. He'd only played 2 games last year. That ankle really just gave out on him, but he's been awesome as the 9th, 10th guy off the bench and then giving them major minutes in key games this year in big spots.
I mean, what can I say? Like, we've got the next Stephen Curry running in front of us, so let's just make the most of it. No, kidding. It's both super exciting and super depressing to see Ty Jerome play. Let me just explain. Last year, we'd almost forgotten he was playing in our colors, you know. 1 match, 1 injury, and no more news all year long. I wasn't expecting much from him this season, I admit. I was one of the guy really low on him, you know. And now he's off to an incredible 6 months start almost, you know. I'm blown away by his ability to catch and shoot so quickly, to plant daggers from so far away, you know. And the way he plays with the team. So, and I think huge credit to Kenny also for that, and for the bench, and for the work of the bench since the beginning of the season. But we've done the math with my co-CMs and Cavs Nation friends, and we have like no way to resigning him next year, except like by offering him a ridiculous salary. So at his age, when he's exploding, he's got 2 choices, like sign with a contender for a nice chunk of change, or take like 30 cents and a sneakers with us. So unfortunately, I think the choice is going to be made pretty quickly, and it pains me because I think we can play a real role in the next 2-3 years with this particular team. But like, as for Mitchell when he came, as for Jarrett Allen, I'm confident in Kobe's ability to replace him, you know, and to get someone which will do the same job as he's doing right now. I'm not overconfident in his capability of repeating the same games, the same process throughout the years. But I think he's a great six man off the bench, and I think he's really bringing us that dog mentality we had left last year, And what was the game when Mitchell was out? And Darius, I don't even remember if Darius was playing with, if he was like having a bad game, and Ty Jerome just came and just blown everything. I don't remember the game.
I believe it was New Orleans. So he had 27 in the first.
Oh yeah, that was the New Orleans game. Yeah.
Darius.
Okay, well, it was New Orleans, so it was like an easy game because like absolutely no one from the Pelicans were like aged more than 22 years, They were all like injured and stuff like that. But he's done a pretty good job, and obviously I'm really shocked by what he has done this year, because I was not expecting at all after the last year, and I didn't know what to expect from him, like coming back on a big injury, not playing for a year. And you never know what can happen, and he's showing off right now. So I'm just happy.
Yeah, and I think it also helped that he's one of 3 Cavs that has past experience with Kenny. He played for him in Golden State a couple years ago, and you talk about him jokingly as Steph Curry 2.0, but he did play with Steph. He shared the court with Steph. He destroyed the Cavs a couple years back, replacing Steph in the lineup. He played with Clay. I'm sure that 1 year he had with Golden State gave him all the knowledge he needed to kind of come into a Kenny system versus a JB system. JB Bickerstaff, not your system, but I'm sure you'd run a great system too.
Yeah.
Ty Jerome's been great. I thought he'd be good. I didn't know that he would get minutes. I am still confident in Craig's ability, knowing the value of his contract over the next couple of years. He's had big moments. He's been a slightly different role this year. He's kind of played more off-ball guard next to Jerome when he's come in, because he's mostly just been what you call a third unit replacement, where he's that 10th guy with a different group. But I have liked what he's brought. We'll see what ultimately happens with Ty Jerome. I do think as long as the Cavs win, he should be a finalist for Sixth Man of the Year. Let's see what happens in Sacramento with Malik Monk. How much will he come off the bench? How much will he play? Of course, with the game's threshold being needed. Pritchard should be considered a front runner.
Yeah.
But plenty of candidates. So toughest thing we have to do here, JB. I'm going to ask you this question. I'll answer it second. Dean Wade's been out. Max Strus is yet to play, and the Cavs have already shown that 11 or 12 guys are good enough on some nights to get in the game. We're not going to be Golden State and play 13 like they did in their last game. Very confused by their rotations, truthfully. It's a good bench, but you really should trim it down, because you're taking away chemistry and minutes from your top guys to play your 13th guys. But if the Cavs can only go 10 deep, who's going to be on the short ends when Max and Dean come back? Because can only imagine. And you don't want to mess with chemistry, but these are guys that absolutely should always be on the court when they're healthy. So I can imagine it's a tricky question to answer.
Yeah, that's not a gift that you giving me. Honestly, I don't know. Do we have any information on Max Strus, like ability? No, not even.
It'll be a bit. Actually, apparently he was reevaluated. He's supposed to be evaluated. This week. That's what ESPN said for Cleveland.com.
Okay. Well, I mean, obviously, at the beginning of the season, if you're asking me, I will put Max Strus in the starting 5. Like, no reason not to put him right here. I think it's still the case. I think Max Strus is a good defender. Is good at putting threes. I think it's an upgrade for the team if he plays in the starter. But like to be honest, like, the beginning of the year has been amazing. So you cannot just say, okay, you move to the bench because Max Truss is coming back. Hopefully, everyone will stay concerned about the games and everything that goes around. And I think we didn't speak about this. I just mentioned it on the last couple of times, but Kenny Atkinson is a real upgrade man for the team, like for the rotation. Huge respect for JB Bickerstaff for like from where he took the team to where he put the team. At the end of his contract, for the dog mentality. The thing that never stop fighting, never stop try to win at all costs. He gave that to the guys, but I feel like Kenny has something more. He brings something more in many ways. When I say Kenny, I mean Kenny and his staff, of course.
Of course,
not alone.
great staff.
But I feel like he's the one who will find like the solution for us. It's his job. So anyway, just do that, bro. But I feel like he can just keep the team together, and whatever choice he will do, it will work because they are convinced in his way of seeing the game, with planning the game ahead and after the games, And I feel like, from my point of view, Max Truss will go in the 5, and we will see how it evolves in function of if he is still like healthy enough, and how it like happens after this big injury. But I feel like Truss will be in the 5. What about you?
No, I agree. What he did last year, some of those top games, his ability to get hot with those guys and kind of draw that gravity. And now, if he's having an off day, I feel like it's not for him. He doesn't have to go out and play 40 minutes.
Yeah, that's it.
And you got Wade. Obviously, I think it's unfortunate. To me, I'm just gonna guess. I know nothing. I'm just a basketball fan who talks about stuff into a mic, who does research, but only the coach actually makes the decision. But I don't know that he would actually do this, but Merrill would probably be my first person out just because of size. He has defended very admirably. The way he handled the Celtics yesterday really impressed me. He had possessions of locking down Tatum and Holiday. He guarded Porzingis. For some reason, Kristaps Porzingis is scared of driving on Jerome and Merrill, despite them being more than a foot shorter. Respect to the guards for stepping up like that. Garland on Tatum, an incredible job on that driving layup under a minute. That was pretty much the game.
That was crazy. Yeah.
Shout out to all our guards guarding the much bigger guys and just sticking it to them. They know because they're small, they get away with a little more contact before the ball goes up. Use that to your advantage. That's basketball 101. But it would be Merrill and potentially Niang, because you can only go so deep. You probably won't get any Tyson. Jerome should absolutely remain in. I don't see a world where he stops getting minutes. It won't be a Coro, but it's definitely tricky. We'll let Kenny, and that's we get too attached to these guys, right?
Well, honestly, between like Wade, Okoro, Niang, Ty, and Merrill, I will take out Niang. I like him. I like the way he plays this year, because last year it was like kind of hard, I thought.
He fell down.
Yeah. I think overall, I feel like Niang is the one I will take out of the rotation, unfortunately. But it's a hard one to be honest. So, it's good for the Cavs, to have this kind of it's a great problem. It's a in France we say c'est un problème de riche. It's a rich problem. It's like we have everything and we need to cut some parts.
No, for sure. I do think, though, JB, tell me if I'm wrong here. I do think even if Niang is taken out of the rotation, I think he could kind of plug into that Jerome, Tyson, Porter role, where on a given night he'll still come in for that back half of the second quarter to give them more energy, light a fire under them. Similarly but very different as well. to the way they used to put in Kendrick Perkins into playoff games. Just let the other team know that you want to come at us. You're going to have to come all the way. You're not going to be able to half-ass it if you want to take us down. So I think for that, he'd be perfect in that. Not saying I want to see him start fights. We don't need that. But check somebody, back up his guy.
Like Tristan Thompson,
Like
someone who just say, don't be too kind.
Exactly. Same as Tristan. And I think
Tristan and him,
there definitely will be. I don't know how much he has left this year. He gave it his all last yeyear. He's been in the league 14 years. Hard to believe.
Speaking about Tristan.
Yes.
I felt like last year I was really impressed by Tristan, and then we discovered that he had like some muscles that went from we don't know where. So, and then it has been like a little bit complicated by the end of the season for Tristan, I felt, but I do really like him. I mean, I'm nostalgic. Yeah, I like the great stories, and I like the fact that he's playing with us for the last years of his career. I guess, like I think this year could be the last one.
Yeah.
So I'm happy he's with us, but on the other hand, we see what he can bring and what he cannot, and I feel like it's more about like cheering the guys, giving experience, and I think Niang is on the same wagon, to be honest. Not that he has the same age or anything like that, but I feel like he has more capability of staying on the bench and just, being with the team and do whatever it takes to make them win.
No, agreed. And you say same wagon. Obviously, we're talking about the G-Wagon, right? That's that same wagon. Of course. I had to. You set me up. I had to. All right. We got one more subject here. Finishing things out. We're just going to predict the next 4 games. The Cavs play 4 games between Tuesday and Sunday. It's nice that the schedule for them finally calmed down. So we'll give you a run through of the games and make our picks. Tuesday versus Washington, finishing out the NBA Cup. And then you got versus Joker in Denver. They're coming into town on Thursday. They travel to Charlotte for a 1 p.m., 7 p.m. French time start on Saturday. And then Miami in a back-to-back on Sunday. What do you think the record is? Washington, Denver, and at Charlotte and Miami back-to-back.
I mean, taking what we have done from the beginning of the year, it could be a 4-0. It could, but I'm not confident in. We're playing the Nuggets at home.
Yeah, that's going to be a fun one. Those are always
fun. Okay, I'll just be full confident. I'll say just for the four games, we'll go 4-0.
Okay. No, I'm with it.
Because to be honest, I've looked at the 10 next games, and what we have in the 10 next games is kind of hard. You're up against the Nuggets. They hate the Bucks, which are like really going better than when we faced them the last couple of times. Golden State again, the Lakers, the Mavs. I think that's going to be a good indicator of the rest of the season. I think if you win like 7 or 8 games out of the wall, 10, that the duel is going to be exclusively between you and Boston. For like alone in the East. Yeah. Otherwise, that leaves room for the others to pick up points and come back knocking on the door, especially as the majority are on the road. The majority games are the Cavs for like the 10 next. So it's likely to be complicated, but excited. And for the 4 games, I mean, I don't see how we can lose to the Wizards. Not being like cocky or anything, but I don't think we can lose this game. The Nuggets, it's a hard one, but it's at home, so I'm pretty confident in the boost that the crowd can give. The Hornets, I don't feel like we can lose this one, and the Heat can be a hard one because it's a Heat. You never know what they can do, and Jimmy Butler is it's okay in the last game. So I feel like they're not going to be easy games. Of course, we're playing the NBA, so it's never easy, But I feel like we could do a 4-0, and I'm confident in the guys to take them home, to take the win home.
Yeah. It'll certainly be a week. I agree. Should beat the Wizards. I'm gonna say 3-1 this week. So beat the Wizards. They're definitely gonna beat the Hornets. It's not gonna. LaMelo Ball is out. Trey Mann is out. Grant Williams is out. They do have some size back with Nick Richards. Mark Williams might be back.
Honestly, I like the Hornets more than last year's, but I feel like LaMelo Ball is way too selfish. He's way too selfish to give the Hornets some wins, So
no, I agree. They're with LaMelo out, it's gonna be very hard. Micic is good, but their defense is gonna take a mass. They're too short. They're way too short-handed to me to be able to win. I think Bridges might still be out right now too, but Miami tricky, especially on a back-to-back. I do think they're gonna win, but I think Terry Rozier is gonna put the Cavs fans through the ringer for Miami. Comes off the bench now. He's been playing well. He's still a good closer for them. And then they got Jimmy. You got Bam. They're a very average team, but they're a team that any given night,
they can just pop off. You don't know why, but they can just pop off on the game.
Any given night. It doesn't have. Jimmy had 4. I mean, they lost to Toronto last night, but RJ Barrett also shot 15 for 20. So if he did that to the Cavs, I'm sure we would have had a different game. He shot 6 for 20 against Cleveland. But then I'm going to say Denver's a loss. Denver's just been so hot.
Understandable, yeah.
They got Aaron Gordon back last night, so I think he'll be back in the starting lineup by the time we meet. Yes, they have no depth whatsoever, but their energy still comes for 48 minutes despite being tired every game. They still got
and whatever happened, Jokic on always like a 35-point games plus with how many assists and how many rebounds.
He had another triple-double last night. I think he has 8 in the last.
He's insane.
Average. You know what the crazy stat here, Jean-Baptiste? He is number 3 in points number 3 in the NBA in points, number 2 in assists, number 1 in rebounds. This is his best statistical season.
He's crazy. He's crazy.
He is crazy. Honestly, I do hope that we don't get voter fatigue as a thing because he should absolutely be. It does not matter what the team's record is. Looking at what he's working with and putting up these numbers, he should be the absolute MVP favorite again. He's just been so
I agree.
Good.
As long as you put Mitchell in the top 3 by the end of the year.
Sure. Well, Mitchell will get 2 first-place votes. One from Chris Fedor and one from Brian Windhorst. We'll take it. But Denver's just...
but we'll see how the first half goes against the Nuggets. If you see that you're just like losing too hard and it's hard, maybe in the fourth quarter you can just put some guys on the bench, saying like tomorrow we play against the Hornets, we need to win this one. So we'll see how it goes.
No, I agree. I do think it'll be close, though. Denver doesn't seem to blow teams out just because they don't have the depth. The starting lineup is fine, no matter who's in it. But then they go 8 deep. They have Julian Strawther, Russell Westbrook, and Gordon or Watson. I still feel like that they're going to be so tired by the time the season ends. They have no chance of competing for that title. They're going to be dead tired. They have zero depth. They miss Jeff Green. Even though he's 38 now, they miss Bruce Brown, who still hasn't played this year. But anyway, I'm going 3-1 on this week. And for those next 6 after, let's just hope Max Strus plays against Dallas, because in one game he made the full court shot, and the other game he blocked Curry at the buzzer. So you can't beat Dallas without Seth Curry. I'm sorry, you can't beat Dallas without Max Strus. That's already been established. So.
And then we got some holidays. Before like the 21st of December, I guess. I think it is. Yeah, Bucks 21 of December. So I feel like the guys can rest and put up another good run when the times come.
Oh, so actually, note on that. That is not that they haven't scheduled the games because of the in-season tournament. The Cavs will probably play 2 or 3 teams in that. We just don't know who they're going to be. They're probably going to be teams that didn't make the in-season playoffs. So it's not. We don't get. I wish the Cavs had a 12-day break. That would my stress level would go down so much. I don't think we get that benefit, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But
I guess. Well, that's a lot to say. I think I don't think anyone saw us coming this year, so I'm pretty
no,
happy with how the things are going right now. And honestly, I would have bet on the 14-4 or like 14-4 or 13-5 start of the season, and I'm really glad how it turns out. So right now, I'm pretty confident in what we can do. 3-1, 4-0, I take both. It's fine.
I agree. So now we're gonna wrap things up. JB, tell the listeners where they can find everything Cavs Nation France.
You can find us on Twitter and on Blue Sky too. Mostly on Blue Sky, honestly, on the next few weeks and maybe years. Who knows? The team and we wanted to thank you for the welcome you gave us like a few years ago, and right now for the exchanges we continue to have with the entire US base, the Brazilian base, the Italian base. It's really fun for us. It's really exciting and motivates us to even more to get up at absurd hours to broadcast this, the results, and talk about the team to the French base and everything that's related. And yeah, we're very active on Blue Sky right now because Twitter has really become like harmful in the way it works. But sometimes it's just how the way it goes. And shout out to you. Thank you for the invitation. Shout out to Lock Legends and shout out to all my co-CMs in Cavs Nation France. We're really happy to share that passion with you guys and really happy to be here. Thank you.
Absolutely my pleasure. So for JB and Cavs Nation France, Zach Weiss with you on this latest edition of Across the Cavs. We will see you real soon. Cavs Wizards Tuesday night. See you then.